You're such an asshole.
Good morning, children. Continuing on Monday morning. Cappy's got a lot of essentially landscaping to do. Do you know rocks are heavy? Do you know that you don't have to go to the gym if you move rocks? Just to let you know, in case you're like, oh. Hi, Cappy. 25-year-old Gen Z black man, and I work for my state's health department. I make roughly $83,000 annually. I have a bachelor's degree in communication, master's degree organization. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, man, you were an affirmative action hire. I'm telling you because I care. I want to. $25, I'm sorry, 25 years old, 83,000. Unless now, if you were in New York or California where 83,000 is like, average income, fine. No, you have horseshit degrees. That's what happened. As per always for my minority audience or disadvantaged group audience, I'm like, take the money and run. I do not want you getting the idea that, oh, I got some I'm the chosen one. No, no. You got hired because of politics. That's why. And with it is the reason I'm telling you is there's a constructive point to this at it. What if you get laid off? What if there's hyperinflation? What if I don't know, DEI is getting scaled back, and I think the Supreme Court came out with a ruling that like, oh no, you can't do that at the schools no more. So this you're young, you're not always going to have DEI. I'm like, oh my God, you're not going to have the white Karens in the HR department. You're not a white straight male. Oh my goodness, let's celebrate. Lady, I haven't even applied for the job. I'm just looking for the bathroom. Would you like a job? I have to virtue signal to all my other self-loathing white Karen friends on LinkedIn. Anyway, yeah, your degrees are worth that. Those aren't things. Master's degree in organizational leadership. What the fuck is that? And you get to a question. I just want this is so other people might take less like, oh shit. In other words, what if DEI goes away? What if the liberal white Karens go away? Right? If I face the same thing. What if I'm demonetized or the YouTubers go away or Amazon, whatever? The internet doesn't work anymore. I'm fucked. Now I got a game plan. I got a backup plan. I'd be going and doing accounting. There's other things I could do. But it's the same. What if the political environment changes on you? What are you going to do with a degree in communication or master's degree in organizational leadership? You are fucked. But you are wise down the road. So just pointing out the premise. As you can see, I ran away from the math and obtained useless degrees. Luckily for me, I took advantage of government funding, had my bachelor's covered through scholarship. I have $38,350 in student loan debt. Well, wait, I thought you said you had it covered through scholarships and you still have 38,000, which is average. That's a fine amount of student loan. That's very average, which will hopefully be forgiven since I worked in the public sector. Well, I hope so. Here's another thing. What if you didn't have all these advantages? Would you be able to pay this off without having $83,000? Like, wait, you got a master's degree. Okay, that's actually pretty good for student loan debt. But my point still stands. Like, if you had to go become a mechanic or something, you didn't have this government job, whatever the state health, what you do at the state health department. Would you be able to, would you be up shit creek? That's why I'm saying if that leg is kicked out from your stool, would you be able to continue on? So you need some skills. Other than that, I don't have any other debt. Did I mention I'm gay, in great shape, and have a perfect smile? I wonder if that counts for anything when it comes to making more money in America today. It does. It absolutely does. They've shown studies a long time. Good-looking men, good-looking women, if you're good-looking, it absolutely serves an advantage. Gay, I don't know. I don't know if that does. It's for like, again, the affirmative action, DEI hiring. I'm sure it provides some edge, but you're already black. Here's the other thing. It is not the fact you're gay. It's not even the fact you're black. All right. And we don't do traits here. It's what you're capable of doing. The fact you're in great shape means you are disciplined and you put the effort and work into it. And whereas, yes, generally speaking, better looking people have historically always done better because the more opportunities people just like better looking people. But the fact you're in great shape, that's going to tell everyone. So you got a good combination. Like you got, the perfect mix. Minority, gay, I won't worry about it. It's not like a bad thing. Uh, but you work hard at working out. And people see that, man, that guy goes to the gym. And whether they realize that, like if you're hanging out with the guys who go to the gym, like Drew Bay. Every guy who goes to the gym, oh, that guy goes to the gym. He at least has some form of discipline and self-control, which makes for a good person to hire, have on your team, whatever else, be friends with. Uh, but unconsciously, people just know, oh, that guy's in shape. They don't think, oh, he make a great employee. But there's an like, yeah, that's someone puts in the effort unconsciously. So I wouldn't say it's just, oh yeah, you're great, you're in great shape, you have a perfect smile, and those are arbitrary things. You work at it, it shows work. And that I would say combine today's current political environment, you happen to be black. Yeah, yeah, that does count for something. It does, but I'd say it's more the fact that you're in great shape than it is any trait that you happen to be born with. I'd also like to add that I'm skilled at public speaking. That actually I thought was bullshit. That's actually pretty good skill to have down the road. That's not a bad one. Strategic planning, that's not a thing. Writing, that's good communication. I'd hope so with the degree in communications. I hope you write real well and inspiring others. That's not a skill. All right, let me kick you in the nuts now. All right. You've listened to too many pie in the sky professors. All right. Public speaking, I can see that down the road. Writing, as long as you can write clearly, that's the skill. Strategic planning, that's not a thing. And inspiring others, bullshit. You would fuck off. What are you? Lin Minmay from Robotech? No one's gonna get that one. No, you're too young to even know what that one is. It's a joke. I fear you're like, I inspire others. You're starting to it starts. Are you shooting up the white girl blood? Are you starting to snort the white? Oh my goodness, I'm brave and that's where I'm worried about you. All right. Now, side thing. Okay, you're public sector, you're working, you're doing very well. We'll get to your question, don't worry. I'm trying to give you everything. If you're a good-looking dude and you have public speaking and quote unquote you can inspire others, I'm just gonna say you're charming and charismatic. You may want to think about YouTube. I'm not kidding, or some kind of internet influencing type of thing. Not joking at all. Because yeah, if you can, people gravitate towards that. There's money in it. So that's just a little side business you might want to consider. But if you're charming and charismatic and you're not afraid to talk in front of a camera or groups of people, that is something you may want to go and consider as a side hobby. So my questions are the following. Do you recommend I learn accounting? Yes, I do recommend you learn accounting or something else to diversify your skill set so you actually got a hard skill. Should there be budget cuts? Should the Supreme Court start ruling out? Should they already start scaling back on DEI, which they are? Right. I'm not saying you don't work a real job or don't contribute to the Department of Health over there, but it's looking like it's kind of like, yeah, first you're in the public sector, half those jobs could be wiped out. All right. So you're very susceptible to budget cuts. Then is it all right? Was it affirmative action where you hired because you don't have a real degree and you know that? I think it would be very wise of you to get some kind of hard skill. Accounting, perfectly fine. But two other ways you might want to consider. Sure, you could go the IT guy route. It's kind of unless you want to do hardcore engineering, which is completely repurposing, getting a new degree. But there's a third alternative where you could get added certification within your field. Organizational leadership, you're in the health department, things like a master's in public health. I'm not recommending you go get a master's degree on top of it, but you might become like a professional public sector type of person. See what kind of training and added certifications there are so that if a round of cuts come by, you're like, oh no, he's on the management track, he's on the executive track. Because you're doing great right now. I mean, you're making a handsome salary. And again, unless you're in California, you're making a handsome salary. You're a young man. They seem to like you. Uh, you're you might get your debt forgiven through whatever nonprofit public sector program they got going on there. You're good looking. You smile. I'm going to assume you're charming and charismatic. Fine, cuts might come, but they might keep you. They might be grooming you. In other words, don't assume, but at the same time, don't deny you might be on the executive track because they want to have a good public speak. They want to have a good public face, and the fact you work out, present yourself very posh, like I'd imagine. I wouldn't throw away these intangible assets. I want like, oh, I'm going to become some nerd accountant. Yeah, that's fine. But I would almost see what other certifications and qualifications you could get so you could continue working within the public sector health department, health area. Um, and honestly, I'd almost put a little bit more emphasis on that than I would accounting or some other alternative backup plan B. You're still going to need a plan B. Um, but I don't know. Some people have what's called it. I saw these guys in banking and finance. They just had what's it. And I'd be leaning into that. So I wouldn't discount that either. But sure, yeah, pick up accounting if you want. It's not going to hurt you. Where's some part-time businesses you recommend for someone like me doing accounting, doing taxes on the side? You though, the part I really am reluctant to recommend it to most other people, but if you're that good looking in shape, I would really delve into YouTube or something. If you ever had an idea for a podcast you wanted to do, I'd recommend something to get your face out there, something theatrical. I wouldn't join theater, by the way, don't. But then, yeah, part-time businesses, the accounting is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. YouTube, you could just do that on the side, try it. It's not really going to cost you much. The truth is, for part-time business, though, regardless of what your current career is or anything like that, the best people say, I want to start a part-time business. Well, why do you want to start a part-time business? Well, I want to make more money. Okay, I understand that. You know the best part-time business to do? Go be a bartender. Go work, just get a second job. That's what I would do. Again, your looks and your presentation would probably serve you well. Um, you could probably work at a slightly higher end place. Um, any kind, I don't know where you live though, what the job opportunities might be, but I just go pick up a second job. That's what I would do. Starting a business costs money, costs time to set up an LLC, all this other stuff. Most of them don't make that much money. By the time you're all done dicking around, setting up a company and coming up with a business product and getting a marketing and getting all the Legos in place to have a bit, you could have worked 2 years as a bartender part-time, be up, you could have your student loans paid off, or just a little bit of a war chest. I know it's boring, it's not what people want, but that's the quickest, easiest way to get more money in a part-time business is just go work another job. And it, now maybe if you had a passion for something, I hate using that word, but if that passion didn't cost like I want to set up a semiconductor plant. Well, that's a $2 billion endeavor. That ain't going to happen. But if there was something you wanted to try that didn't take a lot of money or effort, just a little bit of something, I don't know what it is. Now would be the time to try it. Um, but I would not be you got a good position, man. 83,000 a year. I wouldn't be ruining it trying to run some kind of business. But yeah, you can pursue accounting very part-time, online training, online school if you want to pay for college credits. I got a course called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. You might want to consider taking it. It's available on Teachable. But yeah, if you're more immediate, like I just want more money, go work some other part-time job, work weekends, whatever. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I have a buddy, we're going way back in the gay 90s, nightclub in Minneapolis. Fair amount of guys who were gay or bi worked at the security team I worked at. And a lot of the guys ended up being strippers over at the gay 90s or male dancers. If you're in shape, why not that, man? I don't know where you live, but if you're in a major metro, if you I can't mention his name. I remember like we went and we didn't know he was stripping. We walk in like, what the fuck is that Bob? His name wasn't Bob. It's Bob. It's he saw us. Like, what do you think? What like, have these guys? There's something you could consider. Nah, you'd have to run it past your boss. I don't think if they're open minded, they're not gonna complain or critique. But if you're in that good of shape, how can I ensure that I'm on track to retire by 55? I'm already invested in my Roth IRA. I have 3 months expensive saved for emergency. Outstanding. My employer offers a pension if I stay 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. Dude, do you want to stay there 30 years? I know it's good now, but you'll be 55 and it's something as long as they treat you well in your joint, you could stay there for 30 years. All right. But man, the world might be calling. You might get some other job. You might get some other opportunity. If you could get the pension, sure. But I wouldn't change my life for it necessarily because you're young, you're ambitious. There might be some other opportunities coming along. Also part of the union. Am I doing everything right? I just want to enjoy my present life and retire well. Please note I've already read Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Also linked below. Looking forward to hearing back from you. Yeah, dude, you're doing it about as good as you can. I can't think of anything that you need to do more. You're already investing in the Roth IRA. Do they have I know they got a pension, but do they have a 403B or 457 type of contribution plan? That'd be about the only thing I could think of that you might want to toss the money into. Oh, and I did have a question. I said, what's your interest rate on the loans? 4.88%. Yeah, that's that's a little bit less than effective inflation, so I would not be in a rush to necessarily pay that off. I wouldn't let it grow either, because everyone faced in your situation, well, we may or may not pay off your student loans. Don't leave that up. I'd be at least paying the interest on it. Don't let it exponentially grow. Pay that down a little bit, pay off the interest, and then kind of work at the principal. I'm not saying pay it all off or pay the majority of it off, but see if you can get it down to 30. Do not let it grow because you're relying on the government to decide whether or not they're going to forgive your loans or not. Right. At the same time, though, there's a possibility they might pay it off for inflation. So I'm not saying knock it all out in one shot, but I'd toss a couple bucks to pay the interest and pay down the balance a little bit. That's 5% free right there. But yeah, about the only thing I could think of is if they're offering some kind of 403B, 457 plan and they match, like if they match, go contribute to that. And I would stop contributing to the IRA because that's free money if they match. But if they're not matching, they don't have a 403, it's just your pension, fine. Then continue contributing to the Roth IRA. But yeah, that there's not much else you could do. There really isn't. And you're not fucking up. That's the main that's like 85% of it. Don't fuck up. Well, you didn't say, well, I got babies to support or I bought a Ferrari on credit. There's none of that. Yeah, dude, if everyone did it like you, we imagine this. In a world with this guy, everyone was just clones of him. There'd be no financial troubles. There's not much more you can do. You're already looking to diversify, get a side gig going. Yeah. Yeah, but let's summarize it like this. I'm a big fan of accounting as a side hustle. Absolutely. However, your unique traits and skills, you might have some more fun things than accounting that you might want to consider trying. So again, I would really recommend you consider like a YouTube or some kind of internet influencing type of person. Just as a hobby, a little trial and error. Go ahead, sign up for some free accounting courses. H&R Block has one. I just did a video before this one about it. There's Coursera courses. There's courses offered through QuickBooks, so you can learn QuickBooks. Test it, trial and error it. See, if money is more immediate concern, go work some part-time job. Just because you want the money. And then, yeah, over time, I don't think you're gonna be fired tomorrow. It's really hard to fire unionized government employees, so I think you could take a little bit of risk. You're not gonna be laid off tomorrow. Over a year or 2 of time of trying these things, you'll know more about, "Oh, yeah, I love doing this. Oh, I love being a bartender. Oh, I'm a really good waiter and I get great tips." Or, "Yeah, I came up with a little business idea." Or, "Yeah, I love accounting." It'll happen in a year or 2. You'll have a much better idea what your plan B should be. And that would and there you go. But, yeah, you're at the trial and error phase, sampling phase, which is good. Enjoy it. But otherwise, there's not much else you can do. Don't fuck it up, okay? Let's just put it that way. Don't be buying no fancy clothes you don't need. Don't be affording an apartment you don't need. Don't please, for the love of God, don't get a car that is ridiculously expensive. You're just doing it good. Don't get a drug habit, okay? But no, there's not much else you could do. I mean, God, if everyone was like you, we wouldn't have any financial troubles. All right, there you go. Link below. Black Man's Got Out of Poverty. I don't have it linked below, but if you guys are interested in accounting as a career, there's the world's greatest accounting career available on Teachable. That's about it. Any super chats? Let's go to super chats. Justify Misagony, $2. H&R Block called me back asking about work in fall. Yeah, because that's tax season. That's when they Zeke Meister, $2. You missed my super chats last vid. All right. I'll get that later. Cyberbully, $5. I'm a data science grad and STEM is dead overrated. Competitive job market and the jobs are hard. Would rather have an MBA in these days. What? Really? It's that bad? That bad? You'd rather have an MBA? Wim Eats World, €10. Hi, Aaron. Any advice on landing a U.S. web developer job as a U.S. based starter? Over time, I can move to Latin America. Not at the moment. Seen a lot of require U.S. presence. Happy to avoid Kamala land. I would not try to come to the United States. Find work wherever you can. Yeah, if it's US based, I would insist on the standard that no, I'm not physically coming into work. I would be going around the globe looking for remote work that I could pick up and slowly put together a portfolio of work remotely. The US is expensive. Our people are probably going to vote for Kamala in because free shit. We're going to go through our Argentina moment. I mean, I don't invest in the US. I diversify out of the US, or I should say the dollar. Yeah, and I go to Latin America to live, but I don't know anything about US web developer jobs. I don't. Tuna, 20 Brazilian reals. You always talk about being a hewer. I see that as a good thing, but it's a skill or a mentality. I can't get rid of morals. Any tips? Well, okay, do you mean as a male, a female, sexual, or just work? Um, I guess you mean like overall in work, but it would apply to the sex trade as well. The it's a bit of both a skill and mentality. All right. In general, you need a skill, whether it's sexual or not. Okay. Are you an accountant? People need accountants. The reason why prostitution largely goes one way is because men demand sex more than women. I mean, yeah, women, it's like pizza. I guess any sex is good sex, but some gals, they have a better skill at it. Like they're actually better at the act. Or if I don't know if you're a guy or a gal, Tuna, but let's say you're a gal and you're actually looking into the sex trade. You know what would be it's the ancillary stuff. Hang on, I got a cramp in my leg. Ow. I know a gal and she used to work as a lady of the evening, and it's it's like anything, any other job. The ancillary stuff of be on time, don't be a pain in the ass, do the job. But a lot of it would also be Stormy Daniels with Donald Trump. The ladies of the evening had kind of one job more important than the job itself, and that was to be quiet about it. Discretion, privacy, anonymity. Um, so there's the skill. Yeah, can you be an accountant? But there are other things like professionalism to encapture it all. Are you a professional? Do you get in? Do you get out? Do you not blather on, regardless of whatever that job is? And then the mentality is, I got it here. Well, you all, I've mentioned this a million times now. Okay. And you all kind of don't understand this word. Please go get this book, How Not to Become a Millennial. It's 500 pages. Just read the one chapter. And you can throw the book away on careers. And I'm going to give you the very, very watered down, abbreviated version. You're not getting your time back. Okay. That's how you break the mentality. You're lied to as young people the entire time that you're going to do great things and you're Jessica and Jason Christ from the suburbs and you're going to save the planet. You're going to save the whales and you're going to be a pilot and you're going to know. No, the reason you are paid is because someone doesn't want to do that job because the job sucks. Right. And yes, fine, the job sucks. But in the grand scheme of time, it doesn't matter. I mean, unless you're like in pain or it stinks or your senses are being assaulted or it's physically exhausting. If it's just boring white collar work, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're patching a brain back together or whether you're digging a ditch. You are not getting those 8 hours a day back in your life. And once you realize that it doesn't matter what you do during those 8 hours are gone. You start to, one, stop caring what you do in those 8 hours. And two, you focus on the only thing that matters is how much fucking money did I get for those 8 hours? Because my life is not in the job. It doesn't matter. You go into the job, you go into the tank. It doesn't matter. You scream, you bang pots. It's in the tank. It's not going out in the real world. Then while you're in the tank, they say, thank you for your 8 hours. Here's some money. How much money do you leave out of the tank to allow you to actually live your real life? That your real life is outside of work. And it took me until I was 31 to figure this out. No, 30. Took me till I was 30 to figure that out. But once I figured it out, it made sense. It doesn't matter what I do for the 8 hours. And I was a senior analyst. They wanted me to start filing and scanning in documents. Fine, it didn't matter. Because what was I was going to still be there for 8 hours. They say wash the cars. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. See, like you talk about, I can't get rid of morals. So now it makes me think we're back to sex work. I don't know what morals do you have. If they're religious and you're religious, then you shouldn't be working in the sex trade because you should be honoring your God. I don't think there's any religion out there that says, yeah, prostitution's okay. What you mean morals, like standards, like, hey, I went to school for this long and I shouldn't be doing this thing. This isn't what the job description said. You got to get rid of that. How much money did you give me for the 8 hours I was never going to get back anyway? Okay, good enough. Well, then, as long as my title says this. So there you go. What is it about being a whore? So I don't care. I mean, and in the grand sense, we are all whores. You are paid to do something you don't want to do. Someone's paying you to do something that they don't want to do. Right? That everyone's a John, everyone's a whore. We play both roles. Right? So I really don't have any moral qualms about largely anything unless the product is hurting someone or the end result is wrong and evil and somehow steals from others or hurts or harm others. What is it? Oh, I'm filing and faxing today, even though I'm senior analyst. Oh, someone's giving a blowjob at a truck stop. Oh, well, did anyone get hurt? No one did. All right, fine. Off to the races we go. Ken Rose, $2 and just says hi. Thank you, Ken. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.